Hey, Ron, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Perfect. Yep, thank you. Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, Jacob. Yourself?
Good. Thank you both for accommodating us with this meeting. Now that our meetings are at 6 in the future, this won't be an issue.
Right.
John, good to see you.
Hello, Ron.
In fact, you look way too good on camera.
No,
Hey, you make the rest of us look bad here.
attorneys aren't supposed to lie, Ron, so stop it.
Well, good to see you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Brian here.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good, Jacob. How are you?
Good.
That's
Ryan,
good.
this is Ron. Good to hear from you.
Hey, Ron. Good to hear from you. Okay.
Robert will be in the room in a moment. I'm just gonna wait till then. Oh, Robert's here. Full house. Yeah. Well, the party's on Zoom as of right now, Robert. But they'll be here at 6. Third person. That's Brian. Who? Brian. Brian's on my phone, and then John and Ron are on Zoom.
Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Hello, Robert.
Hello?
That was John Trust. He's also joining us via Zoom today.
And this is Ron, who stood you up today. Hola, Roberto.
Hey, I got plenty to do. Well, hopefully you two can still go to prom. All right. That said, we'll get started with the 4 p.m. meeting, and then we'll adjourn. So, I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the regular business meeting of the Smithfield Township Board of Supervisors.
Hold on.
Oh.
There are
2 people that are here.
Oh, visitors. Maybe this is Mr. Eilenberger.
Okay. I'll do it again in 90 seconds.
Mr. Eilenberger? Yes, sir. Can I shake your hand? I've only wanted to meet you for at least, 2 years since we talked about this? Robert. And he said, I hope I live to see this finished. I'm almost there. This is Jacob Pride, other supervisor.
Nice to meet you. Jacob Pride.
How are you?
Yes.
You know each other?
Church.
What?
Church.
Church. Oh, okay, same church.
Yep.
St. Paul, right? St. Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere?
Yeah, sure. Anywhere you'd like to sit
Here's
is
the
fine.
coffee chair. Please, sit.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
This is my grandson, Cody. Hi, how are you?
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So, it is 4:04 p.m. We will call this meeting to order. This is the regular Board of Supervisors meeting for Smithfield Township. Members present, myself, Chairman Jacob Pride, Vice Chair Robert Levenheim, Supervisor Brian Barrett via Zoom, Solicitor Ron Karasak via Zoom, Engineer John Tressler also via Zoom, and our Office Manager Julia Heilica is with us. Announcements, we had an executive session on May 25th from 8:18 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in regard to our litigation with the township auditors. I also want to remind folks that are joining us via Zoom and in person that we're convening here at 4 p.m. specifically for the public hearing, and we will consider the ordinance itself just after that for the Economic Development Zone map change. And then we will adjourn, or we will recess until the call of the chair, which will be at 6 p.m. when our regular meeting begins. So we will consider first, before that, our meeting minutes of May 25th.
Adam, could you speak up a little? I am hard hearing.
Sure. Next, we're going to consider our meeting minutes from May 25th.
You know, that's better for me too. I like that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. So do I hear a motion on the minutes of May 25th?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Levenheim. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Barrett. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes of May 25th are adopted. Next, we will open our public hearing. It is 4:06 p.m., so let the minutes reflect that is when the hearing began. Our solicitor, Ron Karasak, has the beginning housekeeping items. So, Ron, if you'd like to begin with that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a public hearing with respect to a zoning amendment. A public hearing is like a public meeting, but it is a little different in the sense that the public hearing is meant to advise the public of what is being considered and to allow the public to have comments with respect to the matter before it is considered formally for adoption or some other official action. Now, because this is a zoning amendment, this is a legislative change, so it does not require that a court stenographer be present, as would be required in a quasi-judicial matter such as a conditional use or by the supervisors, or a special exception use by the zoning hearing board. So there is no stenographer present for purposes of this public hearing. Now, in that regard, there are 3 items that I would like to make clear on the record for this public hearing. And they are, number 1, the advertising notices. There were 2 notices sent on behalf of the township. One advertised on May 23 and another on May 31. And then a separate notice advertised under my name as township solicitor on May 31. And I would ask that those be considered collectively as board exhibit number 1. There were also letters sent to the affected property owners as required by the Pennsylvania Municipalities Code along with the township zoning ordinance. And I'm asking the copies of those letters, I believe there are 6 of them, be made part of the record and collectively noted as board exhibit number 2. And then finally, again, under our zoning ordinance and the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, the area in question that was going to be affected by the zoning amendment needed to be posted, and there should be a certificate of posting prepared by the township zoning officer, who I believe did the posting, and that should be board exhibit number 3. So I would ask that all of those exhibits be considered part of this hearing record. And then this matter deals with an amendment to the economic development zoning map. There are the addition of 6 additional parcels to that area, and I believe that Supervisor Lovenheim will be able to comment a little bit better than I as to the reasons for those 6 additional parcels being added to the economic development zone district. And that's what we're here for. There's nothing more complicated than that. So that being said, we can proceed either with the Supervisor Lovenheim or in some other fashion as directed by the chair.
Let's say there's no objection to the notices entered into the record. We have a copy of the affected parcels, as well as all the letters and the proof of publication from the Pocono record in all 3 cases. So there's no issue with that. Robert, if you'd like to talk about the impetus.
The reason for this, as Mr. Eilenberger, I think, can appreciate, is that when this ordinance was passed, 2 years ago, quite honestly, and this is from what the zoning officer told me, just by an oversight, these 6 properties were not included. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's as simple as that. If we look at the zoning map, everything on the other side of the street, everything to, I guess, the east of it, and not to the west of it, only because that's the line between Smithfield and, I believe, East Stroudsburg. But there's just no reason why these properties weren't included. And what I did, I think it's going back a couple of years now, is I wrote the owners of the properties and said, is this something that you would like as your property included in this new zone? The owners of 4 of the properties wrote back and said, absolutely. The other 2, I never heard from. So I don't know if we've ever heard from any of these people when we posted notices.
There was no correspondence back.
So it seems like the only people interested are the people that really want this to happen. And so I think we should right this wrong. It was just an oversight in the first place.
Excuse me, Robert, do we include the trailer court in the ED zone?
Trailer court?
Yep.
That's across the road and down the way. Oh, Mr. Eilenberger says across the road and down some. I don't even know if that's in Stroudsburg. I'm not sure. Smithfield Township. It's in Smithfield. Where is it across? Oh, I think, Brian, I know where you mean. It's before you get to this area. It's where,
Just before ME.
yeah, I can't remember. Is it just before or after the new hospital that was built, the new hospital facility? It's right around there, someplace. I know where you mean. Sort of back in the woods.
Yeah, going up towards 209. Well, 209.
I don't know. We'd have to look at the map and see if it's on it or not.
Well,
Robert?
Let me just say that the reason I bring this up is that I've received several calls, if you will, from people who live in that trailer court who really don't want to be. They don't represent 100% the trailer court residents, but they do not want to be in the ED zone.
Brian, I'm looking at the map Julia has. The trailer court shows it is not in the ED zone. And it's not even across the street from these properties. It's up the road there.
Right, is it? Okay. That's good to hear. And Robert, the reason, what they referenced was articles in several papers, including the Times, about people coming in, buying them out, these trailer courts, kicking the people out, hardworking people who go to work every day, and knocking down getting rid of the trailers and developing their property to their own interest. So that, in a way, is good. We'll keep people employed and housed.
Now, that's nothing to do with this. It's up the road, and in fact, of the 6 properties, there's actually 7 in a row between, I think it's Hammond Court and Gap View Drive or something. One of them is already in the ED zone, and it's owned by St. Luke's. So it makes no sense that properties in a row that are 7 properties in a row. One is, and 6 aren't.
Got it.
I think
that's
an oversight.
In fact, you had proposed 7, but the other one was already in the zone at the time.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Info.
Any other comment or testimony before we would entertain closing the public hearing?
Mr. Chair, this is Ron speaking again. Just make certain, I'm not sure if arrangements have been made yet. It wouldn't make sense to make arrangements yet because the ordinance has not been passed. But assuming it gets a pass and adopted by the board, then I'm not certain if the Monroe County Planning Commission or some other agency is going to be charged with preparing the new zoning map, because these 6 parcels will have to now be included in the new zoning map with the appropriate color coding or whatever, however they're designated. So just keep that up.
Oh, sorry for cutting you off there, Ron. This is Julia. I've spoken to Eric Koopman, and he has volunteered his services to prepare the new maps for the township.
Great.
As always, Julia, you're 10 steps ahead of me. Great work, and that takes care of that question of mine.
Terrific. That said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wait,
I have
no.
a question
Oh, go ahead.
before we close this meeting.
Sure.
Could you explain to me just what ED covers?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
And Jacob, correct me if I'm wrong, but what we did a couple of years ago was try to reform the commercial zones of the township, of which there were several. There was Boulevard Zone, there was a medical office zone, there was commercial in terms of, retail, commercial, went on and on. And instead of having those, we put them all together and said, it's one big zone. You can have anything from retail to light industrial, to mixed-use housing. All of this goes in that one zone by right, so you don't have to have any conditional use to do most. So, and if you see the map over there by the wall, all of those red areas, which is really going around the triangle of this Independence Road, Milford Road, and Seven Bridge Road, that's all now
Thank you.
in this new, we call it an enterprise zone. So it's all of that. And it's pretty much whatever you'd like to do with it's a commercial endeavor of some sort, it's okay.
Okay, that would jeopardize my lot that has already been commercial for 60-some years.
Well,
That would be an existing non-conforming use, so now this would make it functionally acceptable.
right.
So you would have no issue.
I'm not losing anything.
No, you're gaining everything, it's legal
Yeah,
now.
okay, that's the main thing
Correct.
I wanted to know.
Correct.
The price of your property just went up.
Okay.
If it would be helpful to you gentlemen, we can absolutely print out the ordinance for you so you can see the acceptable uses, as well as what you would need to apply for if you wanted to do something for conditional use or something like that. Absolutely.
When is this going to take place, or is it?
What will happen from here is the board will close the hearing once all the comments are taken. When they reconvene at 6 o'clock, they will vote to whether or not to adopt. I believe it's the first thing on our agenda, more or less.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm all right if we consider it now. After.
Okay, so
And
then
then we'll-
they'll consider it now. And then from there, ordinances take, I believe, 5 days to go into effect in general. So then it goes into effect 5 days later.
Correct?
Will I be informed of that?
Yeah.
And I
Yes, absolutely.
All right, if you want to do this, I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance.
Well,
Oh.
I need a motion to close the public
Okay,
hearing.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
Okay. Motion
I'll
by
sec-
Mr. Levinson,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Barrett. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Public hearing is closed at 4:19 p.m.
Yeah.
Now, as for the actual consideration of the ordinance, that's new business item A. After we consider this item, we will recess until the call of the chair. So do I hear a motion on ordinance number 244, technical amendments to the economic development zone?
I'll make the, motion to adopt ordinance number 244, technical amendments of the economic development zone.
Okay, motion by Mr. Levenheim. I'll second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. The ordinance is adopted. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Jacob.
Your next call is probably going to be from SCR Realty saying, what are you going to do with it?
I just had a heart attack about a month ago. I'm just recovering, so,
Well, you look pretty good to me.
well, I'm 94 years old, you know.
That's great.
Yeah,
So,
good to see you.
I'm glad to get this thing over with and get it off my list.
Yeah,
Nice meeting you again.
Good to meet you.
good to see you.
Nice to see Jacob.
And say hello to Dawn.
Yeah.
Say hello to Dawn for me, because we've been corresponding on this for a couple of years now.
Thank you very much. Be well and be safe.
Thanks for
Take
joining
care.
us.
Yeah. we will recess until the call of the chair, which will be at 6 p.m. So, we will
All
see
right,
you all then.
everyone. This is Ron. We'll see you at 6 o'clock. In the meantime, if you need anything, I'm here at the ranch. Take care.
Good, thank you very much.
Okay, guys, I'll see you at 6 as well.